Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? Here to talk about how I get 5 stars consistently. If you're a new Uber driver, or you've been driving Uber for some time, maybe this may help. But one thing that I notice is when I pick up my passengers, in the very beginning when I first started, I was just kind of like trying to figure out a system, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. And I've learned that I will get some passengers, some of them will get in the car, some of them don't want to talk. Okay. If you're already driving for Uber, you probably have seen that. You've probably experienced it. And then some, it's just that it's not that they don't want to talk, but they're waiting for you to open up a conversation. And really, what I like the most about Uber, more than anything, is the fact that I'm able to make that human connection. I'm able to get to know different people from different walks of life. I'm able to do that and get to learn what kind of people live on planet Earth. So that's probably one of the most fascinating things about driving for Uber. And to get straight to the point, one thing that I've learned driving for Uber is, number one, you want to ask them about themselves. So usually, let's say, for example, I may pick someone up from, let's say, the airport, for example. And, as soon as they get in the car, I'll say something like, long flight tonight? Or I'll say, hey, how's it going? Right? And then usually that's kind of like the cue for them to be able to kind of open back up and say something else. So they might say something else like, oh yeah, it's been a long flight. We were stuck in Kansas, or we were stuck in a storm, or whatever. And I might ask them, well, how's it going out there? What's going on in that specific state, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll start to talk. What you want to do is you want to give your passengers time to kind of open up. Like, it's their platform to open up and talk if they'd like. Now, sometimes I'll get passengers that they don't want to continue talking, and that's fine. That's fine. When I get passengers like that, I won't say anything. They might even be so tired that they don't want to open up to you or talk or anything like that. Because let's face it, like if you're driving for Uber, or even if you're driving for Lyft, you already know it's kind of like, you're kind of like a therapist for some people. Not everyone, but it's almost like the bartender, or let's say even like a personal trainer. If you're a personal trainer, like I was a personal trainer, and you're not just doing what your specific job was entitled to be doing, but you're also there kind of like there as a person for other people to vent to. And that happens so frequently. I can't recall. So I've had so many stories about Uber passengers, crazy stories, like the stuff that you see, the stuff that you hear. I mean, you could go from one contrast to another. You could get crazy, you could get uncrazy people in your car. Like, you just never know who you're gonna get. But what I like to do is I open up to them, ask them how they're doing, give them a chance to talk about themselves. Hey, what do you do? And then they might, people always love to talk about what they like to do. And so that's one thing that I've learned is, ask them how they're doing, what it is that they do. And that kind of gives them a chance to open up about themselves and talk about the things they do. And if I have some things in common, I'll say, oh yeah, that's I've also done that as well. So tell me more about it. Sometimes I'll get passengers that they are in town for a business meeting, so they need to make a call on the way to their hotel, and they don't really want to talk. So they'll say, excuse me, I have to make a business call. And that's fine. But usually I find that 9 times out of 10, if I get passengers in the car and I ask them about themselves and I give them a chance to talk about themselves, that usually is one thing that I've noticed to get, that I've almost always get 5-star ratings every single time. So if this has helped you out in any way, like this video, subscribe, and click the links below when you get a chance. Take care and have a good one.